Welcome, everybody, to a brand new episode of Superhero Club Presents The Boys After Show, your one stop shop on Prime Video YouTube for all things season 3 of The Boys. I am your co host, KB, and I am joined, obviously, once again by my illustrious co host, Stephanie Williams. Hey, girl, hey.
Hey, I'm happy to be here and to dive into episode 7, but I think we need to talk about episode 6 a little bit more because Hero Gasm was one
A
hell of a
journey.
fanfare. Yeah, it was a journey. It was a lot of something. But before we kind of rush into all that, we have a guest joining us today. Laura Sirikul will be joining us, and Laura is a freelance journalist, film credit and editor for Nerds of Color. Also, she is the Colleen Wing to my Misty Knight. Very, inside joke between us two, but I don't know. Maybe you'll see us cosplaying that one day soon. I hope before the world actually does turn into the boys. Without further ado, Laura.
Hi, I'm so happy to be
Hey.
here. Oh yeah, you're my Misty Knight, and one day we're gonna like be together and cosplay it together. We've been talking
Yeah.
about that for years, so I'm like so happy to be here. Thank you for having me. I love the show so much, so it's so great to like be able to talk about it.
Yes, and we are going to get into it. But before we get into our thoughts, let's take a look at what happened previously on this. Is the word iconic? Is the word orgasmic? I don't really know, but let's take a look at episode 6.
I never got a chance to say goodbye to Lenny.
You're the reason he's dead.
You're the one who abandoned him.
You're a monster. I just want to know.
Hughie, you shot up an untested drug from Vought. That was stupid and dangerous. I thought the drugs had you up, but this is all you.
You hurt my brother. You're not gonna get away with it.
You think that Soldier Boy is going after the rest of Payback?
Why would he kill Coons and Ganas? When he was your team leader, do you have any idea? Anything?
You help me find the rest of my team, and I'll help you with this Homelander.
This is a bad idea.
Homelander helped make me America's sweetheart. Homelander is the worst of them. He's gonna regret that.
Ooh, wow.
That was a
Okay.
lot.
So first, let me just say this RIP list keeps getting longer and longer and longer with every single episode. But the one person that I don't have, prayers and thoughts for is Blue Hawk. Now, did A Train have to drag him like that? Probably not, but will you get any sympathy from me? Probably not as well, just because he will not be missed in my opinion. So Blue Hawk, we'll never see you again. But let's dive into our overall reactions, about episode 7. Laura, how are you feeling? Do you have any standout moments from this episode and why?
You know what? Each week I'm always shocked of how far the series is willing to go. Like last week was a lot with Hero Gasm. Like that was a lot. That was a lot. I I had to pause, and I'm glad I didn't eat anything while watching it because that was a lot. But this week, I for episode 7, I was just it was a lot of emotional, like more emotional, and a lot. I mean, there is a lot of death and like and killing, but man, it was more of like it hit me with the emotional stuff. And then also, shooting a priest and killing the nun. That was another thing. I was like, oh, okay, God. Okay. Like I saw Hughie doing that, so I'm like, yes, me too. But it was a lot. It was a lot to take in regarding the emotional factor of it. The death that we saw also this episode was a lot. But man, you just go deep in the emotions, and I just felt like, man, I'm getting to know these characters even more. And so the standout moments was like I was shook about the priest and the nun being killed. But yeah, a standout was like Butcher and Black Noir's storyline. That they have a great storyline. And another standout moment was when the legend was telling the truth about Soldier Boy, and just like all that is a facade. And it really hit me when he said to be American means knowing you're the hero. And that's how it is for our history. It's like we always have to be the winners. We always have to win. And so I really appreciated like the how truthful the series is about America and reflective of Soldier Boy's persona, and very much like Homelander.
Yep. I mean, that's one of the things I do appreciate about this show is that it mirrors this country so incredibly well. And I don't even know if that's like the right phrasing to say, but it's true. Like, it is a parody of what is happening, or a satire of what's happening currently in this country, and reflective of what's happened in the past, and maybe even what's reflective of what might occur in the future. But all I can say is, this episode, I'm actually most happy to see MM without so many bodily fluids. Like, bless, because last episode I truly was like, my guy always gets the brunt of it. And I feel like I can share this story now because the episode is out. But at South by Southwest, and also just always shout out to Laz and Lonzo for being great. But I did have a conversation with Laz about what the craziest things that would occur this season. And he said that, like, he always gets the call from Eric, like, you're going to be mad at me. You're going to be mad at me. You're going to be mad at me. And he was like, I read the script and I was like, why me? Like, every time he's just like, why me? And I was watching it like, dang, homie, they always get you. Like, they always get you. So, shout out to that not happening this episode. But I do feel like one of the standout moments for me this episode was between MM and, that stepfather figure. You called it, Stephanie, when you said something was going to come, head to head between the two of them. And it had to happen. I definitely was like, we need to find out where he was and where he's been. But it's the mere fact that he took Janine to a Homelander rally and thought it was okay. I said, why? Why would you do this? And so, it was actually really good to see Monique step in as well. But I hope she knows she got to let him go. Like, y'all are just dating. So you need to break up with him.
Yeah. F Todd. F that guy.
We don't need him.
Yeah.
So, like, girl, you can go ahead and move on. And he was doing all right until he stepped. Now, I actually personally don't know why Todd would even try it, but he was doing all right until he made that statement about MM and thought he wasn't gonna get rocked. Now, why would you think this man is not gonna hit you? So that was a shocking moment for me. I think another standout moment for me, this season, Kimiko and Frenchie have been on a journey. And, now that we can talk about that kiss from last episode where they, are finally like, oh, will we be a couple? Will we do that? And Kimiko, what I appreciate is that she didn't make it weird. You can see that Frenchie is spiraling for a lot of reasons, and that kiss is probably one of them, considering the fact that he's high the majority of this episode. Actually, maybe all of the episode. But you could tell that he's spiraling a little bit, and MM's like, you got to pull it together. But I think the kiss really shook him because he's kind of like, oh. And I feel like they've always kind of had this like lingering feelings underneath their friendship. But I don't know, was something about her just telling him like, but we're more than that. Like, even if we were to be a couple, we're more than that. Like, I consider you family. I think that like that was a huge turning point in their relationship, and something I always like to see because I do really enjoy their dynamic, and I really have enjoyed kind of their progression of storylines this season. But I mean, y'all, that's still not to say I don't think one of them gonna die before the like next episode. I mean, I'm not gonna jump too far ahead into speculations, but I say it all the time. I definitely feel like, I don't know, I kind of feel like this season no one is safe in our like kind of core team, and I don't know. I can't say that one of them is going to stay alive for next season. Like, I'm not gonna say that that's gonna happen. So.
Thoughts and
I
prayers.
did love that. I agree with that. Yeah, I did love their relationship because the whole theme, the whole thing was family. Like, even Hughie was like, "You're my family." Like, he's family, and so I really appreciated that.
I said, not the writers listened into the Fast franchise. They said, "Oh, we're going all the way."
We just got to send Homelander to the moon because for me, a couple standout moments. But before I get into mine, I want to play the clip of Homelander continuing to spiral because is again very scary.
It's been 5 days and still nothing but lies from Vought. Soldier Boy is still out there and Maeve is still missing. And you know what? More people are just going to die until they admit to what's going on.
So, I guess you've all heard about Starlight's alleged involvement with a human trafficking ring? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I suppose it's pure coincidence that she opened the Starlight House for runaway teens? Huh? Come on, we can put 2 and 2 together, can't we?
What the holy fuck does he think he's doing?
Those poor kids, they pass through her doors, they disappear. They are never seen again. It's horrific. But we gotta face the truth, people. No matter how ugly it is, Starlight is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Plain and simple. She fooled me, she fooled you, she fooled all of us, right? Now she wants to take me down. Why? Because with me out of the way, there is no one who can stop her. No one, and she knows it. No chance. Exactly. Do you think the media, our buddies over here, you think the media is gonna report on that? No, 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 of course not. Tell you what, you guys, love you. All right, and vote for Bob Singer. He's great.
It's the way he said, and vote for Bob. He's great. You don't even know who he is.
No.
That guy.
But like it shows like just how much Homelander is off his game, and he's like showing everyone that he is shook. The fact that he was seeing Soldier Boy and almost probably off that man in front of everyone says a lot, and also backs up MM's feelings about Todd not taking his daughter somewhere where Soldier Boy is out to like take everyone out. Like, what are you doing? So it's just also funny to me that Homelander's greatest, like his kryptonite is the media and his perception. His perception is his kryptonite. And I am just so happy that Starlight is leaning into that. We've seen her do it in the previous episode and at the end of Herogasm when she went online to her followers to denounce and say that she was leaving the Seven. And you know that screwed with Homelander, and it's very evident in the clip that we just played. So there's that. Also, Starlight, Miss Home Depot herself, her continuing growth. The reason why I keep calling her that, because every time that I see her eyes light up, I just think of like all like the chandeliers and stuff that they have on display there. It's giving Menards, it's giving Lowe's, and all of it. Like she would set it off. But I am loving her continued growth, and the fact that she's reaching a point where there is no return, and I love that for her. And I think another standout clip for me, I'm going to mirror what KB said, and that's finally giving Todd what he deserved shortly after finding out that his daughter was taken to that meeting. And also, I cannot not bring up the Deep, who is getting a little too big for his wetsuit. I was going to say his britches, but he wears a wetsuit. So anyway, I don't know what the Deep is smoking. I don't know if it's, octopus dick or not, but he has really lost his mind as well.
It's the way she called him Kevin, and I was like, who is that?
I didn't know, right?
Government name. Like, yes, we are actually talking about his government name in this moment. Yeah, you know what? We got to talk about how just the Deep and his wife are on a journey. And she was like, how about I didn't sign up for this? Like, I was really trying to advance my life. And, you've punched me down a few pegs. And, it's time for me to go and make a name for myself. Now, my prediction last week didn't come true because remember, I was like, I can see her ambition, the power in her eyes. I feel like she'll probably kill him and take her life to the top. She hasn't murdered him yet, but I am glad that she has seen the light because, the Deep is really going through something. And I feel like this redemption tour and arc that he had, leave it to him to screw that up all on his own, with no help for anyone
Mm-hmm.
else, obviously. So I was like, this is all you're doing 24/7.
I know she gave up her tenure at Vassar. It's like I was like, oh my
Would you
god,
never do that?
never do that. And she's a smart woman, so
No.
I feel like she's gonna she is the neck to his head, like directing everything. So I feel like he's gonna f up like his next appearance where when he's on Hannity, because I just feel like he's gonna realize I am nothing without her, and he's gonna beg for her back, and she's gonna be like, "F you, I'm gonna make money off this." I have
Yeah.
a feeling because she's too smart for him.
Yeah, and the thing is actually, if you notice, he's parallel with Homelander in that regard. They have to,
Yes.
like, they literally have no life without having someone in their ear controlling kind of everything, whether they realize it or not. Because Homelander always thinks he has so much power, right? But last season, his Nazi boo was controlling him. If his Nazi boo's not controlling him, then it's Stan Edgar. If it's not Stan Edgar, then now it's what? Victoria Newman
Oh, yeah.
trying to, like do what she's going to do. It's always someone in addition to his emotions, obviously, but it's always someone kind of controlling him. And the Deep is the same. The Deep is lost. Like without Homelander telling him what to do, without Ashley telling him what to do, without this wife telling him what to do, it's like they cannot think for themselves, not even for a split second. And that clearly will be their downfall this season and beyond, I feel like. So I'm like, listen.
Well, it's either that. Yeah, where like it's either that or be on the other end of the spectrum and be an A train where you're not listening to anybody's advice. You see how well that's going for him so far.
A train.
Mess, not A Train, a mess. Like he's seriously like he I don't he just needs to figure out his life. Like just I'm glad he's okay from everything, but it's just yeah, I feel like he's always listened to Homelander because of fear, but now I feel like he's finally figuring himself out, and then when he finally does, it's like he messes up. Like I don't know what to expect from him. I feel like we're maybe not, like you said, we're gonna lose someone. I feel like we're gonna lose him because he's really like got to the point where it's like, well, I don't know what to do with my life, so he's disposable.
I feel like he has always leaned into his older brother to be kind of that voice of reason and pull him back. And because his brother is injured, which they're not saying if he died, but I do know Christian Key's got a new role on one of my favorite shows, All Rise. So I figured like, maybe that's probably has something to do with it. It's like scheduling. But they haven't said if he's dead. They just said, oh man, we're sorry what happened to your brother. Okay, is he alive? Is he coming back? What is the truth? Like, tell us, Ashley, because they like to cover up things with lies on top of lies. But I feel like without the protection of his brother, you're right, Laura, like he doesn't have any direction in life, and he knows that things are wrong. Like before, I feel like he let the fame overcrowd the fact that wrong. Now he cannot do it. Like now he's, I guess woke for a lack of a better phrase. Like now he's like, oh man, okay, this is actually terrible, and like maybe I should be doing other things with my life. It's like A Train, duh. Like where have you been?
Well, if you notice, like, not Homelander, what's Soldier Boy's people, like his team, they were like lost without him. They don't know what to do. I feel like that's reflective of what's going to happen to A Train. He's gonna have no path. He's gonna end up at Herogasm, just like listlessly having sex, and that's it. And like that's his life. He's gonna have no purpose. And I feel like that's why they show Soldier Boy's people, because they really reflect of Homelander, life without Homelander, what life without Soldier Boy.
Oh,
absolutely.
You're right. I think, yeah, you're right. And it's interesting because now that I think about it, A-Train really was the only person at Herogasm with a different journey. Like, he truly, like, people are just around him doing all sorts of things, and he does not see any of it. He's like, where's Blue Hawk? Like, he just ignored everything. And then, Hughie's like, I feel like you should apologize. And he's like, you're right. I should apologize. It's an interesting setting, and Hughie's still in that satin peach nightie. And yet, A-Train is like giving him the apology of a lifetime. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is growth. But you know what, Laura, you might be right. He may be the expendable one this season. I don't know.
I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be mad. But if he is well, you know what? Because you said that it is Russian roulette, anybody can get it.
Mhm.
Laura, we usually talk about a character to watch. A Train is clearly like one of those characters, but for you, this week or just in general, who is your character to watch? Because I know mine changes and so does KB's change like every week, or at least mine has definitely
Now what?
changed every
Yeah, I was
week.
like, now hold on. Yours change every week. Mine just died, so I had to change.
Right. So you didn't have you didn't have a choice.
Yeah. Well, I definitely I want to watch Todd because the thing I have about Todd is that I feel like he's the type of guy who's gonna be like, but my girlfriend's black. Like I feel like he's the type. So I have an idea of he's gonna say that the next episode. Like I'm just waiting for that line. But for who to watch characters that I actually like and care about, I love watching The Legend, and I want to see more of his of him like and his history because I feel like he brings a lot to the story of history about the boys and Compound V without and it in a humorous way. So I really love that. Black Noir, obviously. But I definitely want to see Butcher because of the journey he goes through this episode. Because I want to see how not to spoil anything, but I want to see how his journey in this episode reflects the next episode in relations to his relationships and especially with Hughie. So I definitely next episode I want to watch like if he becomes selfless instead of selfish. That's my major thing.
Yes.
I mean,
So I put a lot. Everyone, I think everyone should be watched.
I know. I just kind of feel like I'm like, is he capable of being selfless? I think that's like, I think he has just spent so much time suppressing that part of himself over the past 3 seasons and being in a fit of fury and rage, on his revenge journey and on this, all soups must die journey. That I am liking that this kind of pivot where he's becoming the very thing that he hates. But I think that you're right in the sense that, he's always kind of viewed Hughie as a little brother. I mean, I think we saw it really the most in season 1, especially like, when their paths cross, he's always kind of treated him like, his younger brother. But Butcher always has an agenda that's for himself. And, something that I mentioned last episode was I was like, I really feel like we're going to have 2 teams form and a true split. And that's something that we see this episode because, like Butcher and Hughie are kind of, on their own island working with Soldier Boy. And here are the other 4, fighting for what's right. And they want to bring Butcher down to size. I mean, what I'm hoping is that it doesn't have to get physical between them before Butcher has an opportunity to apologize, because I think he owes everyone on that team an apology, every single one, because he has gone out of control this season. And so I am hoping that he does get an opportunity to do that. But we've seen him apologize before, and then his behavior goes right back to what it was. So it's an interesting dynamic because they're probably fed up, because I know I would be, to be completely honest. But for characters to watch, I'm still going to stick with A Train. That's who I selected once mine died. I pretty much was like, let's watch A Train a little bit more and see what happens. A Train was like this close to getting his black heart revoked. And, now he's just making a few more strides. And, I like that he is becoming more self-aware, but I do think at what point is it too late, because there's a lot of damage already done. And I don't know what that's going to be for him. So I'm still curious to kind of see what that looks like, because even in this episode, there were things that Ashley was talking about. First off, Ashley got to go for the way she said yayo in this episode. I was like,
okay, because I'm like, are we playing Grand Theft Auto Vice City? Like, what is this?
Please, we're thinking, Ashley, just don't think about it. Whatever this film is, this redemptive story that you're gonna put him in, we're not doing. So let's not do that, okay? Right. But I feel like he's still one to watch because he is finally growing into a person who is able to stand up for himself a little bit more. And so I want to see that. And then I guess, My other person who I would like to watch, which is similar to yours, Laura, I think it's going to be Black Noir, because my dude disappeared like a straight ghost. I mean, he took that tracker out and then we did not see him again. And actually, where I thought we were going on the show was, I thought he was just going to vanish. And they were going to be like, in season 4, Black Noir will appear again. You know, I feel like it's like the end of a Marvel movie. You will see Black Noir again. Like, will we? So he disappeared. He vanished into thin air, but he's back this episode and we get a lot of understanding and reasons why. I feel like this episode had the perfect placement storyline wise for him, because I've been having so many questions about him for the past 3 seasons. And I was like, okay, when we go get this, when we go get this, when we go get this. And we did this season. So, you know, Black Noir been through some stuff. And this episode really, really unpacked a lot of that and his dynamic and relationship to Soldier Boy. And again, I said last episode, like, it's wild how delusional Soldier Boy had been, like, in terms of just thinking that, like, why would my team betray me? You are a literal terror. Like, I'm confused about why you don't understand. And then seeing clips and images of that in this episode and seeing, you know, his behavior towards his team in real time, I'm like, yeah, it's wild to me that you didn't think that they would want you dead. Like, I guess I'm confused about why you thought you're just treating them so well and, you know, like, they should be appreciative. Like, no, you're actually a horrible human being. So,
the lack of self-awareness.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see, you know, what Black Noir will do in these episodes. And not to jump too far ahead to speculation, but there's got to be a head-to-head between him and Soldier Boy, if for nothing else, but for him to confront his past. And honestly, Black Noir might die. I mean, he might. Yeah. I don't know. My list of people who are going to die in this season 8 finale is like infinite. So here we are.
I mean, it's a toss-up because it's either him or A-Train. I don't know if we're gonna roll into season. I don't know. Well, because it's him, A-Train, and then Monique. I don't know how many Black characters will enter season 4 with. So you know, just preparing for that. But speaking of I actually want to go back. What'd you say?
A horror movie?
I mean, it is kind of, listen, The Boys is kind of a horror. It is a little bit of a horror film. So
I mean, it represents America and people of color.
Exactly. Yes. And it's even given a little David Cronenberg with a lot of the bodily stuff that happens. I mean, Herogasm. I mean, that's straight out of a Cronenberg situation. If we're leaning into M ratings. But a character to watch for me, and I think I'm staying consistent because I feel like it was Mother's Milk last week. I might be wrong because at this point it's really hard to really try to hold on to someone because you don't know if you'll have to let them go. But I want to play the clip. KB, you mentioned this earlier, the confrontation between Mother's Milk and Todd, but I just want to play this clip real quick because he had it coming.
Out the car.
What's wrong?
You heard me.
Daddy?
Hey, baby. I need you to go inside the house with your mama. Daddy needs to talk to Todd alone. Okay. All right.
Arvin, what are you doing here?
You okay with this?
What?
He took her to a Homelander rally.
Yeah, so?
Excuse me. You took her where?
It's fine.
No, it is not fine. You didn't ask me. Janine, come on, inside, honey.
Everything's fine. Just relax.
Don't tell me to relax, Todd. Soldier Boy is out there gunning for Homelander. Do you have any idea what kind of danger you put my baby girl in?
There's no danger. Starlight is making all that up. Read any news outside the establishment media.
Todd, they're lying.
Really? All of them?
All of them. Homelander is lying to you. He's a fucking psychopath.
Worse than Starlight. She's trafficking kids. The same age as Janine, as the kids in my classroom. Homelander is the only one protecting them.
Okay, you guys, that's enough.
Homelander ain't protecting all right? He's feeding you this insane fairy tale and you're too fucking stupid and brainwashed to fucking see it.
Hey, you.
Both of you, stop.
You know what? If you want to risk your life, fine, have at it, but not with my baby girl. You're not her father.
Someone's got to be.
I'm sorry. It's the way. I'm sorry. It's the way Todd fell out. Like he had an open hand slap. He just. It was like the most dramatic way you could fall.
And I was like, man, did he kill him? So I'm assuming he's still alive. But wow.
First, giving like supermarket. You read like it's giving like he flicked him and then he fell out like he was ran over by a car. Just how dramatic it was.
Oh, it's so good. I was just like, when he fell, like, instead of going, I went like, yeah.
Yes, because I know that Homelander must have really hyped. He left that rally hyped up on foolishness. Because why would you say that to him? In what way did you think that was going to pan out? And then two, even if you were taking a calculated risk that it might end that way, there's no way that Todd could have thought. He could have truly thought that he could take a punch from Mother's Milk. You see those shoulders? First off, just real quick, shout out to Laz Alonso for being fine all my life, and also that DMX shirt was superb.
Right.
But wow, and then the way Monique ran over, I'm like, girl, I hope there's some type of he has his own insurance and he's not on your insurance because he is going to the ER immediately. But the reason why this keeps on Mother's Milk on my characters to watch, because again, like, this has been a long time coming, and I'm surprised it took him this long to haul off and hit him. And I'm wondering who else is going to make Mother's Milk finally snap, because I still don't think this is the snap moment. If anything, this is the build up to it. And if anything that happens in the finale is just a touch of this, I am fearful for whoever that is. Maybe Mother's Milk is the person who ends up taking out a character that we think might not make it to season 4. I would love to see. I don't know who that would be, but I would love to see that, and I would like it to be Soulja Boy.
Yeah, imagine that body, that strength, but with superpowers. If he put the temp B, imagine that body and that strength with temp B, that could be possible. Like, it could be possible where we see him be like, you know what, I have to do it, and even though I hate myself for it, I have to do it, and then he's like 10 times more powerful.
I was gonna say, like, well, one, I feel like this show is like 90% of us just lusting after Laz Alonso, but also I feel like he just that moral compass that he has when it comes to V. I don't know that it would allow him. You know what I mean? Like, this would be the best storyline and story arc, but I don't know internally if it would allow him. You know, I don't think he could do it. Like, or really truly forgive himself for it.
I think he could if his daughter was put in harm's way. Like, that's the only. Yes, I think that's the only way I can see him just going ahead and doing it. But I think you're absolutely right with that moral compass. That alone, no, I don't see him doing it.
You know, I still cannot get this image. I'm so sorry. I cannot get this image of Todd on the concrete out of my mind. And how I just know that he became that cat meme, the cat on his computer doing this.
Yeah.
And I just know he got up off that ground and went straight to his Facebook group and was like, I just know that's what happened after this. Like, I cannot get it out of my mind. I'm so sorry.
Because if you're Monique, like, you're not letting him back in the house. Like, he has to go be somewhere else. Right?
Well, again,
like, I feel like
we just go together temporarily. Like, we're dating. So, like, you don't have to go anywhere. You can go to your home and be by yourself. Like, I mean, because you took my child somewhere without my consent or permission and then pretended like it was fine. Like, you really overstepped your boundaries.
But I also feel like because he hit him, she's gonna have sympathy, because you get hit by a brick. And like you're just like it's like you get hit by a brick and you're just like, oh my god, he got like hit by like a brick, so I'm gonna take him inside and make sure he's okay. And then she could make, and you know what, he's the type of guy who's gonna gaslight everything. He's gonna be like, oh, I wanted to show her the other side of things, and like because I think she's so even like she's been with a mother MM for so long that she's like she needed something different, and Todd's safe. He's the safety, and that's why I understood why she's doing that. But at the same time, I think it's because he got hit. I think if he didn't, and like he just yelled at her, and then just yelled at him and left. I think like when he can and like they will talk, and she will be like, get out. But he got hit by like MM is huge, and like obviously he's like boop and then falls. So I think he's gonna forgive him because like what are you gonna do? A man's unconscious on your driveway. So it's
I don't know. Monique girl, stay strong. Because also, listen, I know MM has his issue, but he fine. And I just truly
I mean
I'm sorry. That is not a reason
that
to stay with someone, obviously. Like, so if you need to break up. But girl, I'd rather you be by yourself than be with Todd if you're not gonna be with MM. Like, those are really the options for me.
Let's bring this family back together. Like it's time. I will not judge her or anything. Like, girl, I get it. I mean, in that very moment, I would have just left Todd on the concrete and I just told MM to, come on
inside just for 5 to 10 minutes. But mostly, I just feel like also maybe they just need to go to the red table, have a little conversation, air
my
some
God.
then,
wait a minute, time out. Homelander, but hold on, Homelander red table talk, because that is something that I don't know. I mean, but never mind, because he doesn't care about the Black community. He doesn't care about whether or not they think.
So sit there without choking on the word African American. Like, I think he
that
would be
is
like,
true.
Oh, yeah, and Black women.
You know where he would go? He would go on the Ellen show, and I mean that in all shade.
And if anyone pops out, he'll just kill that person to scare at that scary thing.
He probably would, but not
burn them like
I kind of feel like it wouldn't be on purpose. He would like genuinely be scared and just be like, and like his like laser beams would come, not even on purpose.
Yeah, but I definitely would love to see A-Train at the red table though. And wearing
okay, Larry, now you're talking, because that would be amazing.
Yeah, A-Train on red table talk. Ashley's not really good at her job if she hadn't already thought about this, to be honest. I mean, like, listen, we're giving you, like ideas. Take them to the Vought table talk. They need the VTT to sit down, and really the VTT is probably just in the Seven's headquarters. They just sit down at that table and have someone else come. To be fair, I see the VTT being a central point for Stan Edgar to make his way back from his leave of absence. Like, Stan, bring it to the table. Like, let's have a conversation about what's occurred over like the last 4 decades. So,
well, remember they Ashley suggested The Blind Side 2 for A-Train's next movie. So I don't think she's thinking of like red table kind of situation. She's thinking of like the white friendly kind, like Wayne Brady kind of style. And so,
oh my God, but you are so correct. Also, she's thinking about Cameron.
Yes, of course, because she said we need to get my boo some views. Like, my boo needs more views. But Laura really took me down when she said The Blind Side too.
I mean, yes, and Wayne Brady, you weren't wrong about that either.
Oh my God. Okay. So this episode, I have to know, what did you guys pick up on? Laura, are there any Easter eggs that you saw that you were really like, ooh, I can't wait to see how this plays out in the finale? And high-key, I kind of feel like some of the Easter eggs we've seen this season may not even play out until season 4, but they're still there.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's not Easter eggs per se. It's I did love Buster's Beavers. I think that name by itself is amazing. It's like a Chuck E. Cheese, obviously. So I hope we could see more of that, like just return, like Buster's Beaver, like in the past, if they ever do a flashback or anything, I need to see Buster's Beaver, like again. I just love that name. But I saw hints of the boys' diabolical stuff, so I'm hoping I definitely am like loving that reflection towards it. If the viewers know, they know, like the boy or the animation boys diabolical series, which is amazing. But yeah, and I do want to see the Training A Train movie come to life the next season if he survives.
I definitely do not want this movie in any capacity. However,
the Blind Side too.
I do because the writers are so bomb. So this is not necessarily an Easter egg, y'all, but it is something I have to mention because I died laughing. When they talked about the Hard Rock Cafe massacre, I was like, who writes on this show to even bring up the Hard Rock Cafe, which I have not been to in a solid 2 decades is what it feels like. And I was like, are we bringing this back? Or was that the last one to exist in the boys' universe? What happened? Like, they think of the wildest things on this show, and they also, bring back a lot of nostalgia. So, yeah, I'm curious to see, kind of what plays out Easter egg wise. I feel like some of the Easter eggs we saw, your point, the diabolical link. I feel like maybe some things we saw in there may come to pass by the finale, but it's really, really hard to say. But I will say, shout out to whichever writer said the Lord hates quitters, because I was like, who did this? Like, truly.
The only thing I have to say is sex and being gay.
That's right.
So. Yeah,
a top tier line. Like, I truly was like, oh, this makes this entire scene worth it. Like, I mean, it's the way Legend was not having it. Like, but Legend said, now you gonna have me with a sexual harassment lawsuit.
I could never fire them.
Not on his. Okay.
Like, Legend said, I did not sign up for this. I've done too much in my lifetime. I'm over that moment. Like, I just want a nice, peaceful life where I live in the regret of the things I did in the past. I'm not trying to create new regrets in the present or in the future. Leave me alone. No. Like, truthfully.
All right. So moving on for Easter eggs, we can finally talk about any speculations that you all have. Laura, you can go first.
I definitely think, obviously, hopefully we'll get a showdown between all of them. I want Starlight and Hughie to make up. I want them to work out because I hate romance, but they're adorable. So I'm hoping that he's able to save her without any powers. Like, I'm hoping, because he had this whole journey of like, I don't need you to keep saving me. You keep saving me. And and I'm hoping we get to see a moment where he gets to save her without using his any powers, or he's able to do something for her. And that way it will give him some ability some strength, So I'm hoping to see that for him, because I think he needs that. And I think we need that as for loving him so much. Like, he's so likable. And I do hope we see, I do want to see Mother's Milk kind of have a showdown, and I know everyone he's gonna hate having powers, but I think writing wise it would be really interesting to see him be forced to have powers. If he was dying or something was happening, and if Butcher is like, sorry mate, and he just stabs him with the thing, and powers, I think that would be an interesting way to move forward with his storyline of maybe that's how he defeats Soldier Boy. And so I think that would be interesting to have. Also, I would love to see Black Noir also be part of that revenge, because man, I just felt so bad of his journey, that I want him to have a redemption-ish, even though he's a horrible person himself because he's following them, but it the abuse that he went through. So I'm hoping to see him have it, because man, Soldier Boy, even as hot as Jensen Ackles is, you just can't with that guy. I'm ready for him to go.
Not you said you hate romance. I'm really dying because you said I hate romance. However,
I hate love. I really do. Like I'm just like, oh, I'm like,
it's like,
oh, they're cute. All right, that's fine.
yeah, I mean, you don't want a nice candlelit dinner for three between like you, your husband, and a mollusk? No, like this is not, the type of romance that you aspire to have in life. Like, I mean, come
I
on.
will take Cassandra out myself.
We can leave the mollusk at home, okay?
Yes.
Like, please.
This
Yeah.
show is not great for romance, but I mean, yeah, but it's not something that I would be like, oh, this is such a romantic show. But like, yeah, I definitely want to see them. But yeah, but you know what? I want to see Cassandra come back. I want to see her do be on the Hannity show and him being like on the red table. Like
I have a speculation that Cassandra may join forces with Victoria because they are two women who, like power, have worked their way up, the ranks and are looking towards the same things. And remember, Hughie just kind of dipped on Victoria. I mean, he was feeling some kind of way because they were friends and he was like, hey, you didn't tell me you were Soup. I mean, Hughie, also all the signs were there, but Hughie is not that bright because even this episode when Butcher was like, yeah, he has PTSD, he was like, what? Hughie. Now I'm just the shock and awe. Like, have you not been paying attention to this man at all? Like, apparently not, because he lives in his own bubble. So, he dipped on Victoria quicker than, he could say broken arm. And so she needs someone. And Cassandra truly is someone who is like, let me work my way to the top by any means necessary. I mean, after all, she did align herself with the deep in marriage, which, was not wise. But she did it, for her future. And so I think, that type of persistence is matched by Victoria. So I feel like maybe they could form a little alliance. That's what I'm going to speculate on. I definitely, I told y'all, the list is infinite when it comes to death, and Ashley gotta die. Like, I just feel like it's going to happen. And there's other Ashley to step in and do more PR things for them. Ashley number 2. But Ashley number 1, I think, just has to go. And I think she might die because, I think her days are numbered. Her days are numbered because she wants to be reckless and she wants to have all this power, but she has no powers. And I think A-Train is over her. So, maybe A-Train dies too, but he probably won't go down without killing Ashley or something like that. Now, when it comes to our core team, I feel like, I don't know, this might sound weird too, but maybe Butcher is in his last days and maybe his final sacrifice is really having something to do with making amends with MM and, truly sacrificing himself for Hughie. Like, maybe that's his last kind of, good deed. But I can say, Butcher, the backup baby daddy, we have not seen his son. In a long time. Ryan, like, where is he? And he kind of was in a fit of fury, and I feel like that might come back in the finale, because I do feel like what they do well on this show is they don't introduce things without kind of, panning back to it. And he left Ryan just like, I hate you, and it left so quickly that I'm like, where is Ryan? And I feel like we might see him in the finale, because last finale Ryan ran up all through it, murder. So I don't know, Ryan might be unstable this finale as well.
Speculations. Well, I don't think things are gonna go the way that Butcher likes. With bringing Soldier Boy back, I feel like is going to end up biting him in the butt in the worst ways. In ways that he didn't even imagine what he had to deal with Homelander. So I feel like that will be blowing up in his face very soon, in the very last episode for the season. Also, like, I want Starlight to have like a concrete win, like one where we're not like second guessing whether or not it truly is a win. That's just more of a wish list thing for me, because I feel like she has really grown this season in ways that she hasn't the previous 2 seasons, and I just really love like this character journey that she is on. What else? I want to know what Stan is the guy who stepped down from Vought, right? Because I don't know why I'm blanking on the actor's name. All
Giancarlo.
right.
Stan Edgar.
Yes. Because Stan Edgar just, we cannot believe like he just stepped away and like had no plans of doing anything, right? So I feel like both him and also little Ryan are going to pop up at some point in the season finale in ways that we didn't expect because to your point, KB, like the show doesn't introduce characters and have things happen just because. So whatever that thread is, I feel like it should get tied up. Um, and just thoughts and prayers to everyone because because if the season finale is anything like the season finale from last year was, which gagged me for several reasons, I would imagine that this season finale will be double that because each year the show has gotten better and better. So I expect nothing less from the season finale. But yeah, thoughts and prayers. And then Maeve, we don't even know. Like, hey, Maeve might even, who knows, show up and jump in this too, and we get a little Wonder Woman action from her. So it is truly like we are in Vegas and it is a Russian roulette board, and it's just like take your pick for random shit that might happen.
Listen, Maven Starlight gave Homelander the business, honey, this episode, giving him nothing but truth and honesty that he did not want to hear. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised, Stan Edgar, you can't keep a bad bitch down. And Stan is number one. So I just know that, child, I wouldn't be surprised if the end of this finale, he had Butcher and Homelander co-parenting Ryan. Like, I mean, truly, Stan said, I can make anything happen. And you out here playing too much, both of y'all. So let me pull you to the side. We're going to ring it in because at the end of the day, I'm about money and you guys are messing with the money. So let's go ahead and work this out. So I agree. You know, Stan will be back. Maeve, where will she be? We don't know. I feel like the world is our oyster in this finale.
Yeah, you don't hire
but not Kevin's oyster.
Well, you don't hire.
I was about to be like, who is Kevin?
I know it's it over.
Really, like, because every single time, I'm like, y'all using government names. Like when they call Black Noir his government name, I said, okay, y'all, I need you to just tell me what their code names are, because not you got me out here feeling sympathy for Irvin, and then I'm like, who Irvin? Oh, right, okay. Like, I just every time, please. Woo. Okay. So before we get out of here, we're just going to play a little lightning round game of Would You Rather, the Boys edition. I need both of you to just say the thing that comes to your mind. Is A or B. You know, we're not going to make it complicated. So first up, I'm going to start with you, Laura. Would you rather take Compound V and be forced to work in the 7? Or would you stay human and be forced to be on the board of the 7?
I'd rather have Compound V and be on the 7 because at least I have powers to like offset anything that can come my way. You know, at least I can have a fighting chance.
Listen, I kind of feel that because if you're on the board, you know, Homelander just one wrong eye glance and you're out of there, you know. So it's truly like, whew, at least give me a little protection, you know. Maybe I might not be able to kill him, but maybe I can bruise him a bit, you know, like or his ego, something like that. Okay, Steph, would you rather have Homelander as a father or Billy Butcher Sr., aka Lenny?
Oh,
Homelander.
What?
Yeah, Billy Butcher Sr., I mean, you know, at least if Homelander is my dad, I have powers. So there's that. I guess that's the consolation prize. Maybe I can fly. So I can fly away from him. I don't know. And go live on Fiji or something. But no, because Billy Butcher, you see how Butcher is?
Right. Yeah, truly. But not so you could fly away from him so he could chase you. You know how Homelander is. He a sociopath. You'd be mad at him like, Dad, I'm leaving, and he would follow right behind. Like, you know.
But you know what? I would be able to possibly appeal to his sympathies of wanting to like be a part of a family, have a family. So like there's some wiggle room there. Like Homelander is terrible, but I mean, he did have his moments with Ryan, even though he, took him out to a place that he shouldn't have because anything could have happened. But like he did have that moment when Ryan was overloaded where he tried to be a dad, I guess. So
You can
it's a
always go,
little,
"Hey, Dad, have some milk. Here's some milk. I brought you
yes,
some milk
Here's some warm
See?
milk.
to calm you down."
yes, get him some
Oh,
fresh milk off
Yes.
eBay from
oh,
someone,
creepy.
so he'll be fine.
All right, so this is for both of you, but I'll start with you, Laura, first. Would you rather go to Herogasm or be married to the deep?
Herogasm. It looks fun. Well, no, because you have options at least. The deep is just like you have
Yes.
him and a squid, like an octopus. Like that's all you have. Those are the two options. At least a Herogasm, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna walk to this room. All right, I don't like this room. I'm gonna walk to this room. I'm gonna walk. It's like there's a variety of options. Like instead of just one, it's like here's ambrosia, and I'm like, oh god, no. Like
Ambrosia, my kryptonite, please. Okay, Steph, and what about you? Herogasm or be married to the deep?
Absolutely, Herogasm in a heartbeat. Like Laura said, there are options. Also, there's a possibility that you might come away with a cute peach robe. So, as long as it doesn't end the way that it did at the end of episode 6, then Herogasm could be a cute time.
Listen, I need them to sell those peach robes. They were so cute. I was like, yes, Hughie, you better work it. Live life. Yeah, Herogasm all the way. Because again, we don't like for our options to be taken away. Give me some options in life. Variety is the spice of life. So tell me, don't just force me to be with the deep and then he's forcing you to do other things that you don't want to do. Because Sandy, I'm so glad you batted your eyelashes twice and ran up out of there. So truly. All right. So for both of you, would you rather make a deal with Stan Edgar or Victoria Newman? I'll start with you, Stephanie.
Victoria Newman, just because she could pop your head, I guess, but she's a product of Stan. So you know what? I'm sorry, Stan Edgar.
Yeah, I think Stan Edgar has a lot more on his plate. Like I think he steps ahead, and so
Yeah.
I think he has a kryptonite that could harm them all. So I don't trust him, but I feel like if I had to make a deal with anyone, it'd be him.
Yep. Yeah. I feel like, I don't know, Stan, this sounds so weird, but I feel like he could protect me more. And it's weird because he doesn't have powers, but I just feel like if things go left, Stan is the person that you want on your side when things go left, which is why, again, I feel like, Homelander gonna come crawling back because he realized there's no protection like the protection of Stan Edgar. And so I just feel like, yeah, that's gonna be it. Okay, so lastly, for both of you, and I'm gonna give it to you first, Laura. Would you rather spend your entire life saving Hughie from harm and danger, which y'all know is a lot because my guy is oblivious to like 90% of the things that are happening? Or would you rather spend your entire life explaining why sex with mollusks are not okay to the deep?
I mean, come on. I'd rather save Hughie than to have to explain to a man why he should not put an octopus on his penis. Like plus I don't mind saving Hughie because he's adorable, and Jack Quaid is like the most adorable person ever. So I would totally save Hughie. Unless he screams a lot, then I'm like, oh, this will be annoying. But like, because his scream, come on, it's a funny scream. It's cute in the beginning. Then if you have to save him every single time he goes I would be like no. But yeah, explaining don't put a octopus on your penis. That's yeah.
Steph?
It's gonna have to be saving Hughie. I'll be annoyed every single time, but I know like the whole deep thing is probably a kink shame somewhere. So like just to avoid even having to hear that from him and whoever his followers are online, I would just have to save Hughie over and over and over again. That sounds like hell. Both of those options sounds like the ninth level of
Isn't
hell,
it? Aren't we
actually.
in the bad place? Because it's just a
We are
continuous
in a
loop of
bad
doing these
Yeah.
two things for your
yeah.
entire
Oof.
life.
Oh my god! Imagine if he complains the whole time too. Like, oh, why do you have to keep saving me? It's like because I have to. If we can save you every
Cause you,
time.
cause, cause you're,
Because you're
cause you have
incapable of doing it yourself.
you
That's why.
incapable. You have two pennies up there just rubbing together and not doing anything. Just an accordion being played in your mind. Like, what is wrong with you? Whew, I'm sorry, that just gave me the shakes. Because that sounds just so KB, that last would you rather was very depressing.
Sorry, guys, I had to do it. I mean,
It's
the
okay.
Deep is not known for his intellect, although he was trying to push that off this episode. And so, I'm like, what is the truth? Kevin,
Oh,
what
a
is the
fool.
truth?
You know what? Acting like a Kevin too. And no shade to any of the other Kevins out there in the world, but it was given Kevin. So with that being said, a huge thank you to you, Laura, for joining us today. I wouldn't have wanted anyone else to join us on this episode because it was so emotionally packed compared to last episode, which was just a lot of bodily fluids, too many to be exact. But Laura, are there anything you want to plug? Social media, upcoming projects? If so, now it's time to do so.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Sirikul, Sirikul. I write for a whole bunch of places. I'm with Nerds of Color. I write for IGN, Nerdist, and a whole bunch of other places. So I always will be retweeting and tweeting where I'm publishing my work. But yeah, you could find me, and I'll be at Comic-Con doing a panel. So do a few panels. So I'll be there for a day to do panels. So hopefully I'll see you guys there.
Yay! I can't wait to see you in real life.
I know.
I'm jealous.
I love seeing we got to see each other 2 months ago. I think at the HCA. So I missed you. I missed you, and I want to meet you, Stephanie. We've been like friends for a long time. So it's like nice.
Fingers crossed that I can make my way to SDCC next year, but I don't know. There's still hope for this year, but like a last minute Hail Mary type of situation happens. But the time will come. It will. But like not in the Hero-gasm way. Or I don't know. But anyway,
it's the way that person who had all of that bodily fluid. My immediate first thought was like, do you actually have any fluids left in your body? Like,
okay,
you should probably hydrate like a lot. Actually,
you don't know what their superpower is. Their superpower could be that, where it's like projectile. Well, I'm hoping maybe Amazon. I don't know. If Amazon wants to throw an event at Comic-Con called Hero-gasm for publicity, I wouldn't say no.
I just a lot of Elmer's glue getting thrown around. But on social media, you can follow me always on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Steph_I_Will. If you have not checked it out yet, the Nubia Queen of the Amazon series has started. The first issue is out, and issue number 2 will hit stores Tuesday, July 5th. And oh my God, we are already in July, and we're already about to be at the season finale, which is next week. Wow, what is time?
I know. I'm so sad that we're at the season finale because we know this just means another full year before we get another season. But you can find me at the Lady KB on Twitter and Instagram only. That's TheLadyKayB. And I will be at San Diego Comic-Con for its entire run. So come say hi. I'll be doing a lot of interviews, and I will be going to panels, and hopefully I can go to Laura's and check it out. And I tweet all of my articles if you want to Be on the lookout. I had an interview today with 2 of the cast members from Mr. Malcolm's List. It is such a delightful period film. I thought it was so cute. And so, be on the lookout for that because I'll be retweeting and really just follow Nerdophiles for a lot of different things that are about to drop because I work with them a lot. And then, of course, my show will, debut on iHeart in September. So keep an eye out for that. I'll be sure to let everyone know when and where to subscribe. So that is it for me. And please do not forget to subscribe to the Prime Video YouTube channel now so you don't miss our very last episode of Superhero Club Presents The Boys After Show. And if you haven't watched our previous episodes, go now and watch and catch up. As always, the first 2 full seasons of The Boys are available now, plus all 7 episodes of season 3. So catch up, rewatch again before the finale on July 8th. So yeah, until next Friday, thank you so much for joining us and see you soon.